is going to try this, and it will be a 60, let's call it 63-yard attempt. Spotted at the Bronco 47-yard line. Snap a little hot. Elam's kick. Oh, the line drive. It's got enough distance.
Let's kick it, y'all. It is a Monday night. It is less than 40.
Hey, rein it in.
It's 48 hours since you and I, Ian, sat in these two chairs. I don't know. I feel like you were in a different chair. I'm just background
I was upstairs the other
in
time.
parts
I'm in
unknown
the basement.
upstairs.
Basement. I am. What did Adam Troutman say? I am Dragon Slayer 69.
We're up there
Drinking a Slurpee in my mom's basement.
Dragon Slayer 69. We had some harsh words for Bo Nix and the offense, and here we are. We're at 9-2.
Dude, it has never felt better. 9-2. Man, Rhett, we were sitting here talking the other night. Both of us picked Kansas City to win. Did you pick Kansas City to win, right?
I picked Kansas City to win, yes.
And I said I just don't see a path for Denver to win this game. Understanding that we were 8-2, understanding that we were at home, just feeling in my gut like there's just not a way we figure this out without J.K. Dobbins, without some other important pieces, with the legendary Andy Reid coming off of a bye week. And dude, we took it to the Chiefs. I know that the refs tried to steal the show a little bit in many different ways, but man, we battled hard. Come out with the dub. It feels incredible, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I just watched my football team stare Kansas City in the face. I watched them look at mystique moments. They saw a fourth quarter game, a fourth quarter lead taking touchdown between Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey. The kind of stuff that we've seen written about, we've seen repeated over and over again over the last 7 to 8 years in this league, and they did not care. They didn't care at all. This was not a
Yep.
team affected by. They never were like, "Oh my God, we're playing the Chiefs." They just kept their head down and they do what they do all year long in
And
ways that don't make me feel good as a passenger through half of it as it's going on. It's a stressful experience, but my God, if you can do this against the Chiefs, you can do this kind of game, this ugly win, this pull it out, and like just point at the scoreboard at the end of the game stuff. We can do this against anybody.
yeah, and Rhett, I know, like I know typically we do this as you ask me about the offense and the defense.
Mhm.
Before we get into any of that, I want to say two things. Number one, let's get the caveat out of the way. There's going to be people this week who belittle the Broncos country by saying, "Okay, pump the brakes a little bit. It was a good win, but like the Chiefs were 5-4. Okay, this was a 5-4 football team. Now 5-5 that you took down. And before anybody wants to throw that at us, I just want to remind everybody that earlier this week, the Kansas City Chiefs were the Vegas odds leader to win the Super Bowl. Okay?
Mhm.
If you check any major sport outlets' NFL power rankings, it is pretty common for the Chiefs to be higher in the power rankings than the Broncos. If you look at NFL Network's crew, they always put out a graphic of like every one of their analysts and their pick to win the game. Only Broncos country ally Adam Rank was the
Saint
one
Adam
to
of
pick
rank.
Denver to win. We were home underdogs, so I don't want to hear about all this. I had to listen to Nick Wright get on whatever his show is, whatever platform he inexplicably has, and say there's no chance Denver wins this game. So I don't want to hear anybody this week saying, well, it was a 5-4 football team. Denver took down both Super Bowl teams from this past year.
Mhm.
We have taken down the Philadelphia Eagles. We have taken down the Kansas City Chiefs. We have done it in games that were not the prettiest, but for 60 minutes, we were the better football team. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is this, okay? Rhett, I thought it was incredible at halftime. Did you hear Sean Payton at halftime going into the locker room?
I did not.
Oh, I don't remember who was interviewing him. Uh, Usually those halftime interviews are just a waste of time. But they asked Sean Payton about how he was feeling, and reminder for everybody: we go into half 6-6. Sean Payton was like, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit. He's saying like, we like where we're at. He said games like this, we tend to know the direction that they end up going, and this team that we're playing, they're more of a first half team. And I love that from Sean Payton, man. He's just saying essentially what he's saying is, yeah, these guys, we're not worried about this second half because we know we've been in these kinds of games this year, and every single time we come out on top. We're not worried about these guys. And Rhett, honestly, that was so true. I mean, as someone who would, I just knew in my gut, I was like, there's no way Denver comes out of this game with the win. When we went into half tied 6-6, I was like, wait a minute, we're probably gonna end up winning this, aren't we? I just in my brain I thought the Chiefs were gonna get up early and we were gonna find ourselves in a hole, and that just never happened, man. It just never happened. We hung with them blow for blow, and we were the better team. And Sean Payton knew it, and his players knew it. It had been an emphasis all week long. Sean had been telling his players, understand the moment, right? Have an understanding of this moment, the implications of this game. And man, it really felt like the players understood it. And you said it best, man. They just weren't scared. They weren't scared at all. And it was a beautiful thing to see. So I could not be happier all around with our team's performance. And I'm excited to get into it. So,
I love it. Today, I want to flip the normal order
okay.
because I know we want to get to talking about the offense, but I want to start with this defense down its green dot player. Um, I say because that sounds really nice. We are known as a pod to be more or less anti Alex Singleton as the main starter, but he was the organizing force on defense. We are going against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. That is a factor. Communication was different this week than it had been in any other week this season. We were down the defensive player of the year. We are going into a game knowing that we had to hold this team below 20. I mean, just know deep down in our souls, understanding. And this defense was up to the task. Ian, tell me about it.
Yeah, man. Hey, you mentioned our green dot player, Alex Singleton. I want to give a shout out who took the green dot from him in his absence, Justin Sternad. I wrote in my notes, there are two unsung heroes on this defense, Justin Sternad and Ioma Owazurike. Both of these guys I thought played
Mm-hmm.
absolutely stellar. Sternad, Rhett,
Mm-hmm.
was flying around. I
Mm-hmm.
I was so blown away by, and I know like Sternad's played well, but you
Mm-hmm.
kind of wonder with him, given the nature of who he is and how he came into the league, like is this a legit thing? Man, I thought he played lights out. I thought Iyomo Wazurike showed moments where he was an absolute penetrator, and he's a
Mm-hmm.
guy that's an afterthought because you've got JFM and you've got Zach Allen and you've got Malcolm Roach and you got DJ Jones, and
Yeah,
we forget about this big dude who's an absolute dancing bear. I thought we had some unsung guys who stood out. Not to, we'd be remiss if we didn't obviously mention Jaquan McMillan. What a cool game from him, Rhett.
golly.
My
Yeah.
goodness, to be able to leap up to get that interception on the sideline was impressive, and obviously we know that this was negated by the Sean Payton and ref collision, but a great return too. It's too bad it didn't count. But like really, really heads up play by Jaquan at a time where we needed it. And that's the thing, Red, about J-Mac, a guy who, like, I don't want to say we were critical of him in the offseason, but we did float him around as like, do we need Jaquan McMillan now with the addition of
Mm-hmm.
Jay Barron, Chris Abrams-Drain coming along? Is he somebody maybe we float as a trade piece? I'm willing to come out here right now, Rhett, and say I'm so glad we didn't, because
Yeah.
he has continued to make splash plays. All of those plays came in moments we needed them. The 2 sacks that VJ dialed up for him were so timely, especially that second one, because it's what set up then what would become the final game-winning drive by Bo Nix in the offense. I thought he was incredible. What else did I put? I I just wrote this. I said, I promise Riley Moss is good. I know there is a segment of our fans who are convinced that he's terrible because he gets a lot of DPIs, and Riley addressed that after the game. And really, something I really appreciate about Riley Moss, he's really very open about the nature of his position. And I'm not just saying cornerback, I'm saying his specific, the guy who has been lining up opposite Pat Surtain. Now, obviously, Pat's been out the last couple of weeks, but Riley has played very well. And like, it's funny to me because like when we had Pat Surtain playing, game plan in the passing game was obvious. It was like target Riley Moss, try to get penalty yardage. Now that Pat Surtain's out, teams are trying to target Riley Moss and get penalty yardage.
Penalty yardage.
Listen. I think the third DPI on Riley was probably legit. The other couple ones he had, again, a little ticky tacky. Make no mistake. Watch the player.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good player, man. He's a good player, and the way he's wired, he just doesn't get phased by it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you make a big play on him, he's going to be okay. He's going to leave it behind.
Yeah.
So Riley
The
Moss
only
is a
thing
good.
stopping Riley Moss is an octogenarian 70 yards away.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. The other two more things I wrote. One that you already alluded to, Rhett. Like, yeah, this defense is absolutely not scared of Patrick Mahomes at all. Not scared of Patrick Mahomes at all. We talked about that on our last episode. We said we gotta understand that he's a man, just like any other quarterback, and he can bleed, right? And they answered the bell. The only other thing I'll say, and then I want to hear from you. I just wrote this. It's time to just acknowledge it. Vance Joseph is the best defensive coordinator in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best, better than Vic Fangio. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
better than
Mm-hmm.
any. Throw out any other guy out there. Okay, what's his name from
Brian Flores, Jesse
Minter,
Minter,
better Jesse Minter, Brian Flores. Okay,
Kelvin
dude,
Shepard.
he's the best one in the league, man, and I'm so proud of him. I'm so glad he's back in Denver. He's unbelievable. So yeah, Rhett, what did you think of the defense?
I loved it. Yeah, on the Vance Joseph point, it's so funny. We've gone from uh oh my gosh, what a meme. What's Sean Payton doing bringing Vance Joseph back? This is ridiculous. This is embarrassing. I don't like this. To oh, okay, Vance Joseph is actually like a decent defensive coordinator, and it's kind of nice because we know that he's not going to be get any sort of head coach interest. To oh, it seems like Vance Joseph has, like this defense is making Vance Joseph look good, and he might get some head coach interest. And it would be kind of cool if we could get Vance Joseph and turn him into a third round pick because of the Rooney Rule. Like that would be honestly pretty cool too. Actually, I'm all set. Please don't leave, PJ. You know,
I do not want him to leave.
I
Doesn't
no
mean
longer.
doesn't mean that like Jim Leonard couldn't like
Mhm.
replace him and do good too. Our defense is
Oh
so
yeah,
talented, but man, we got
for
to give
sure.
DJ his flowers. Man, he's a legitimate head coach prospect. He deserves any interview he gets, and if we retain him, we will be very fortunate.
Yeah. I hope I hope if he goes anywhere, I genuinely want him to go somewhere that is not a dumpster fire because I think I want him to get a fair shake. I'd love to
Before,
see him
but
succeed.
I promise I want to let you continue to talk, but because you mentioned it, I'll throw out this one. This one's floated around a little bit. Can you imagine, Rhett, Vance Joseph with that front seven for the New York Giants?
God.
Because that's one that's been thrown out, brother. That's one that's been thrown out. Can you imagine that?
Give him
Oh,
Jackson Dart in that defensive line and let him be a leader of men. Oh baby. Yeah.
dude, I
I'd
like
be
that one.
I'd be down. It doesn't pass my dumpster fire test, but uh I think he could work with that one. Yeah, the it's just becoming like I like that this defense it hasn't cropped itself up a nickname yet because it doesn't have a specific calling card. It's just freaking great at everything. It is a defense who I would say is playing like it's the best secondary in the league minus the defensive player of the year. It is a defense that has that what came into the season without a single household name on its defensive line, and yet is leading the history of the league in sacks on a pace where like it's almost a foregone conclusion that if things continue as they go, they will hold the all-time sack record and possibly even do it in 16 games. Uh, this is a defense that every week is is happening to the offense in a league where the offense is dictating terms every down to down, week to week. You cannot hit anyone anymore. There's all these limiting factors. The Denver Broncos defense is just utterly destroying people, and it is incredible to see a defense like this happen. Like I'm not sure how we're going to look back on this defense in a couple years, because how many of the guys that we are feeling like, oh, they're just showing up and they're kind of just our guys. Like even Nick Benito has gotten onto the grand stage, but he feels like our guy because, like, you know, the
Yeah,
rest of the league is just now finding out about him. Jonathan Cooper, the league is just finding out about. Most people still don't really know Jonathan Cooper. He's one of our guys. Are we going to look back in a couple years and be like, man, there was, that was crazy defensive line. It had three Hall of Famers across it with, with guys, seeing where their careers are. We don't know what it's going to look like, but oh my God, Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw,
unbelievable.
this team plays nasty, nasty football. This team is going downhill. This team does not care at all about you setting. It's not scared. It knows what it's looking for, and it plays the percentages like it knows it's a freaking great defense. It gives up a 40-yard chunk play. It gets a BS penalty that's, down through, and they just line right back up and they say, okay, well, the odds are you're not getting another first down.
Yep.
Wow, what a thing to watch, and especially happening to a quarterback that is very possibly going to go down as one of the top three greatest quarterbacks to ever play, possibly the greatest quarterback to ever play, depending on how Kansas City reloads that roster if they win another few Super Bowls. And especially a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, who is known for like escaping in the pocket and being indomitable and being like the freaking Grim Reaper, and he just felt small. He just didn't feel scary. It wasn't like, oh man, here he is. He went and made play. Even him getting through scoring a touchdown in the fourth quarter to take the lead, it was like, congratulations, you guys got to 16 points on this defense. Like, woo, you
Yeah.
broke you broke
Yeah.
double digits, dude. Like that's
Yeah.
incredible, right?
Yep.
So it's crazy. Jade Barron. Uh
Yeah.
God, Jade
I knew
Barron, man.
I knew we were going to get into him specifically later on in the show, but yeah, man, absolutely. I completely agree with you just saying his name in that way. Yeah, totally.
He's worth the first round pick. This is why you do it.
Can I say
Because
something?
yeah,
And I don't want to interject on what you're about to say, Rhett. Just real quick, because you'll know what I mean by this. What Jahdae Barron has been doing, like his role on this defense this year, has been something that you and I have been longing for like pre like Peyton Manning era years. Like,
yes,
and you know what I'm talking about specifically, but like we have been longing for this specific role. Anyways, continue.
just a guy that can cover a tight end, like
Yes, bingo.
someone who can who can handle the like the nickel area in a way that is why, like, he's showing why he is worth the first round pick. It took a while to get there. It took him a long time to get onto the field, but now that he's onto the field, the fact that Denver that you can expect him to go up and make a play in the run game, that you can expect him to be able to cover a larger tight end, that he can cover smaller slot. I mean, like, he was in the same game expected to play man and run with Xavier Worthy on a crossing route, and then also expected to cover Travis Kelsey in the slot on a choice route,
Hmm.
and then also come up and tackle Kareem Hunt. And he did all of those jobs well.
Yeah,
Like,
he was.
Travis Kelsey had a lot of catches, but they were not overly
It,
effective. He had the
by,
one play where he really broke out.
and I really think, by my count, I think Jade only gave up 2 catches for like 12 or 13 yards to Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
And I mean, Rhett, like he did this against Jake Ferguson at the height of Jake Ferguson's season, where he shut him down. Brock,
Jake Ferguson at the height of his powers, which
but
sounds
he was,
but
but he was, man. Like
yeah, he was so good.
He was like second in receptions or something in the league. Uh, Brock Bowers has 1 reception against it. Like it's working. And anybody who says like, oh, he's been a little bit of a disappointment for a first round pick, I just kind of disagree with that, man. He's been an important piece of our defense. Now, again, we'll get into him more, but yeah, I totally agree, man.
So yeah,
What a
the secondary is like we're 7 or 8 guys deep in the secondary of dudes that can just go out and play.
Abrams Drain played really well. Yeah,
Abrams,
yeah,
Chris Abrams Drain is a legitimate NFL cornerback, a boundary corner. I don't,
yeah,
he may or
yeah.
may not be able to travel. He's not being asked to do that, but he's showing up, being the cornerback too, and you're just not thinking about him very much.
Rhett, we are playing so well on defense that I keep forgetting that the defensive player of the year is not out there. Okay,
Yeah,
and that is not a slight on Pat Surtain. Okay, he's incredible. He's the best corner in the world. Okay, I'm just saying, like, that's how good our defense has been playing. You just
it's
almost
so
forget
good.
about who we're missing out there.
And it's just it's an interesting defense because it feels like two really beautiful, intricately designed units being knit together. This front seven is a weird, different front seven. You have a whole bunch of guys that do
Yep,
very specific roles that get interchanged out. Nick Benito is able to hold up in the run game now. That he's made a big point of that. But he is a pass rusher. He and Jonathan Cooper they grade out as a little bit smaller. They're not your traditional like they're not TJ Watt. They're not, whatever, where you're going, okay, they just otherworldly do everything. They're Miles Garrett. They have stuff that they're really good at, and VJ uses them uh to their advantage. Our defensive line is filled with guys that have different strengths. Not one guy on the defensive line looks like anyone else. It's all these interchangeable parts that
yep,
come together to create this beautiful chaos in the front seven. And then in the back seven, you have Pat Surtain when he is healthy, locking down one side of the field. You have Riley Moss who brings a ridiculous physicality to the game. He gets the flags, but like he bullies receivers for 60 minutes. He makes like I would hate to have to be a receiver knowing that Riley Moss is going to be like on my tail. Like they call a bubble screen out there and I have to go block Riley Moss. No, thank you. um, Chris Abrams Drain is able to stay outside. He's light on his feet. He like does his assignments. He's got the speed to play out there. And then you get Jade Barron who's moving around and can cover. Jaquan McMillan who can do all these like bring in the nickel
yeah.
blitz.
What a
Talanoa
chess
Hufanga
piece.
who's a Swiss Army knife. He's like a
And,
Swiss Army grenade.
and one quick, the only thing I'll say critical of our defense, and the only thing I'll say critical of Hufanga, brother's got to hit the jugs machine this week, okay?
Yeah. Oh,
Utilize the
God.
bye week, brother. Hit the jugs machine because you should have like 7 interceptions this year.
Dude, he's arrived at the football so much. And then over top, like the unsung hero of it all is like Brandon Jones, who's just like making sure
Yep,
all the trains run on time. He is
rock
he's
solid,
keeping a lid on top of everything.
rock
He's
solid.
solid. He's the true definition of a safety. This defense is just ridiculous. And finally to see it go to work on a stage like this, it's I don't know, like I feel just as much about the offense, the defense. It was like, oh no, 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 no. Okay, all of this is real. Like I will never doubt this defense ever again. Give me any offense, give me a big running offense, a physical offense, give me a spread them out offense. I don't care. We're going to eat their lunch. That's my
Yep,
thoughts on the defense. Ian,
yep. Hold
let's
on,
talk about.
before we go to the offense, can we shoehorn the special teams in real quick?
Yeah,
Because
let's do it.
this is a great special teams game, right?
Woo.
Just 3 quick things, okay?
Mhm.
Number one, so Cooper, for those who might listen who don't know, my 4-year-old Cooper, Rhett, he has actually decided his favorite Denver Bronco. I don't know if I've told you this,
No.
because I'll tell him about like all the different guys and what because he's kind of getting a little
Mhm.
interested. The other day, I asked him, I said, "Who's your favorite player?" And he said Marvin Mims, uh, which is a
It's
great choice.
beautiful.
Great
That's
choice.
beautiful.
And he said because he is the fastest one. And I'll tell you what, Rhett, last night, Marvin Mims, the absence was felt most last night when he came back. Like
Yes.
it's like you don't realize how much you're missing. 2 massive returns in this
Mhm.
game. Incredible stuff. Really good to have him back. Uh, then I'll just 2 more things. Will Lutz. I mean, listen, the dude's been nails this season. Like, let's be honest,
Mm.
he's been absolute nails. And then lastly, what a good rebound game for Jeremy Crawshaw. That was so nice to
Mm.
see after he just, talk about a stinker. And we were like, all just like, does he have the yips? Like, is this a thing that he's just like, is it like, yep, it's done? Like the Jeremy Crawshaw experiment. Like he's like the Brett Maher of punters. And he just rebounded with a great game. Man, it was good to see a plus game from our special teams unit.
Hmm.
Hopefully that trend
Frank
continues.
Crum, Frank Crum blocking that
Frank Brown
extra point.
blocking the absolutely,
That
absolutely,
that
man.
game that game
Huge.
plays out totally different if he doesn't block that extra point. We're able to tie the game on a field goal later instead of having to play that game of
Yeah,
do you go within one? Do you have to be
yeah,
aggressive and go for it?
yeah. When
Um,
you talk about like win in all three phases, this is probably
mhm,
the most win in all three phases win that we have had this year because special teams was a
100%.
huge part. So that was really good to see. So
Two big returns, big punt return, some I don't did we get a big kick return? I don't think we did. There weren't very many kickoffs, but we got big returns, we got a blocked field goal, we had clutch field goal making, and we had no big returns given up. Just a perfect game.
and when
Ian,
it came down to it, and we got to the 35-yard line, 3 seconds to go, the same spot last
ugh,
year in Arrowhead where it got blocked, we didn't flinch and we got the job done.
we died slow enough. On the, uh, Ian, let's talk about the 22 favorite offensive points I've ever watched scored.
Dude, absolutely, man. Okay, I can just run through my notes real quick here.
Do it.
First thing I said, Bo Nix was sensational, man.
Hmm.
He, this is wild to me, Rhett. I thought the Raiders game was probably his worst game as a pro. I think I might have even said that.
Yeah.
And he follows it up with what, in my opinion, was one of his very best. I know that, like, statistically, he's had more impressive games. I mean, he had like the 4 touchdowns against Dallas, and he's had other games in the past.
he ruined the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. But this, to me, Rhett, in terms of being decisive, in terms of like actually like making sure his feet were like his footwork was good. I thought that overall this year, I think he has pretty much steadily shown growth and improvement at the line of scrimmage before the snap.
Hmm.
I think that was most evident in this game.
Hmm.
I mean, you hear like the clip of Chris Jones afterwards in the locker room saying, like, yeah, Bo Nix, like on that last drive there, that one play they got on us, like we felt really good about how we were lined up, and Bo just started calling out what we were about to do, and they shifted their line, and it was awesome to see. Man, he played within himself, which always sounds derogatory when you say it, but I don't mean it that way, man. I mean, he distributed that football. Rhett, this whole phenom of him in the clutch has
Hmm.
just befuddled me. We get
Hmm.
to a 3rd and 15, and Bo Nix delivers that strike to Cortland Sutton in a colossal moment. A colossal moment. The play at the end there to Troy Franklin, where Troy finally came up with the play, and he put it on that inside shoulder, which apparently that wasn't even like the first progression. Like that wasn't the first
Hmm.
read, which is great. Like Bo, like he hung in there and he found Troy and he put it in a favorable spot, and Troy made a great play. Like Bo just was nails. The other throw earlier in the game down the left sideline to Troy
Yes,
Franklin,
to Troy in early in the third.
dude, dude, just perfect. And I was so impressed with the man. And it was so good to see. And so I called him out last time. So I just need to come in and say this, Rhett. Like, Bo Nix, you did it, brother. You answered the bell. You gave
Hmm.
me what I was looking for. And I have no problem saying that if we can get that kind of play out of Bo consistently, not only do we have a chance at Super Bowl, we should be considered one of the favorites for the Super Bowl. I'm putting my name on that because,
Hmm.
Rhett, when we have a quarterback playing that decisively and he has this defense on the other side, that's a hard team to beat. So Bo Nix deserves all the credit. You and I have been, some people might call it harsh. I think we've been fair. Me more so than you has been like a little more negative. But I got to give him his flowers. I don't have anything bad to say about him. He just, man, I'm not making some, I'm not saying he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I'll tell you this. He was unquestionably better last night. He played a
Hmm.
better game than Patrick Mahomes. That's so yeah. Sorry, I spent a lot of time on Bo, but he deserves it. He deserves the credit, and I hope I hope he gets a lot of apologies this week. This is me giving my apology to him right now.
Yeah.
Bo, what you know what? Watch the Matthew Stafford tape, brother. Do it. Fire it up. Okay. Watch the
Treat
Matthew Stafford
yourself.
tape. You've earned it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let me
uh,
talk about Bo before you move on
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. Go for it.
to your next bit
Yep,
because
yep.
yeah,
Go for it.
it was I mean, I like it was like watching a different quarterback. I said on Saturday, like the issue has been all of this is fixable, and that was so frustrating to us. Is like why isn't it
Yep,
getting fixed? And it seems like oh wow, they had a couple extra days. He like was he got away, like did a reset and fixed it because his feet were good. They
yep,
weren't perfect. They weren't
yep,
incredible. They weren't even like they were good. They were what you need
yep.
his feet to be. And compared to what we were seeing in the last 3 or 4 weeks from Bo Nix, it was just night and day difference.
Yep.
He went into a game against a very smart veteran defensive coordinator and Steve Spagnuolo, who has been largely responsible for a number of Super Bowls. For at least like he Steve Spagnuolo won the Giants 2 separate Super Bowls and then helped the Chiefs to another three. But he came into the game plan, and it seemed like the way the Chiefs were playing was their game plan was to put the game onto Bo Nix's shoulders and to make sure that they weren't going to run the ball. We weren't just going to be able to salt the game away on the ground game, and he really took away a lot of the easy stuff. There were, to my count, at least 4 or 5 different reps where it was a high leverage situation where it was we were behind the sticks or it was a third down, and Bo got to the top of his drop, had to take a hitch and a second
Yep.
hitch, and then found a guy in the middle of the field and delivered a strike, like you said,
Yep.
decisively. I mean, that 3rd and 15 to Cortland Sutton on the very first drive. I mean to start the game, he takes a sack and he finds himself 2nd and 16 and navigates the second and third play of the game. Just
Drilled it.
the
Drilled
right
it.
play, the right play. Got 9 to get back to a 3rd and 7, and then found Pat Bryant for a first down. Got needed 7, got 8, and then another third down. The very next one, that was the first one he found Cortland Sutton doing a like a deep crosser or whatever on a
Yep.
dig. I think they were doing dig,
Yep.
and I mean that ball on a rope, an absolute frozen
I
rope.
think I think that might have been the dagger rep. I got real
Yeah.
excited because they ran dagger at some point, and I was like, finally, they're running dagger. Uh,
Yes,
yeah,
I believe it was Dagger, and he did like what we
yeah,
wanted a couple weeks ago. We were saying, hey, they ran this concept, it was
yeah.
open, and he like ate it and went this. He stepped up and he just confidently drilled it where it was supposed to be. And Cortland Sutton frustratingly jumped in the air and body caught it, but he's so good. He is good at it, but still, this team's not
Yep.
perfect yet. I would like to see Cortland Sutton catch those with his hands and not jump in the air and body catch it. But
Right.
you know what? When it works, it works.
Yep.
He's made millions of more dollars than I have doing exactly that. Bo Bo fixed it, and
He did.
so long as like you're saying, so long we don't need anything better than this. He did like he still had his flaws. He missed Troy Franklin deep in the first drive.
Yep.
He missed another there was another deep ball connection that was just like, ah man. There was a cut like he's not hitting it all the time. I'm never going to expect Bo Nix to have all of the physical tools to be like an elite NFL quarterback, but he was quarterbacking great. He put the ball where it was supposed to be when it was supposed to be there and gave his guys opportunities and did it to the best of his abilities. And whenever he missed passes, he didn't like sail routes in the middle of the
It
field. He
wasn't like
didn't
he was trying to do stuff that looks really cool. Yeah.
yeah, he didn't put the ball in harm's way. He just executed the game plan. And so
Yeah.
yeah, I say shout out to Bo. I'm gonna be a little bit more persnickety about it, where I'm gonna be like, I'm not even overly embarrassed. Bo Nix was playing bad. He was bad. We were right, and now he's playing good, and we're still right. I talked about it. I said all I need is one game for me to be back on the bandwagon. I am back. I got the
Yeah.
game. Bo Nix is Jesus. We are going to the promised land. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's one of
That's my
those, like,
take.
you look at it, and at first glance, it's not, like, crazy because it's like, well, he didn't have any passing touchdowns, but, man, the moments you need it, Nix has delivered, and, it it was a complete game. Yeah, just really good to see. So, yeah, shout out Bo Nix, you did it, brother. You have teammates rushing to your defense and talking crap on your behalf to all of us who have ever said anything bad. Adam Troutman called us cowards. He said anybody talking bad about Bo Nix online and not to his face is a coward. And I was like, "You got me, brother."
I know.
Like, you're right. My lamp came off. You're right, man. I have said things about him that are negative, not to his face. But in all seriousness, you do you like seeing that from his teammates. So that's great. They're
Next time,
rallying around him.
yeah, next time Bo has a bad game, we will reach out to his people and we'll
We'll
try to
try,
schedule
we'll
a
try
sit
to
down.
get him on the podcast.
Yeah, get him a pod. Listen, we'll
Well,
talk about it.
we want to do an all 22 breakdown, brother.
We're just sitting there being like Cortland's open right here.
Oh man, yeah.
You sit down here, Bo.
Hi, Bo. I'm 34 years old. I can throw a great spiral if I really think about it hard. And I want to tell you about how you messed up on this play. I want to tell you about how you double hitched on this dump off to Harvey.
How
all right,
dare.
sorry, we gotta move
That's
on.
our apology.
But that's our apology. Okay, so other things. So this is a little bit of a whiplash. This will be like kind of negative. Our running game, that's something we're going to have to get sorted out going forward. Harvey, he still needs to grow in some areas. I mean, I like him. He definitely he's unquestionably a weapon for us. There's no doubt about that. He makes plays in the receiving game. Still not great, like in between the tackles. He's going to have to grow in that. I don't love what I'm saying is right, and we talked about like what happens when you lose a guy like J.K. Dobbins. I don't love the makeup of what we've got right now, where it's like, well, Jaleel McLaughlin's in. Guess what? We're running it with Jaleel McLaughlin.
We're going to hand the ball to that small man.
It was great to see him get in the end zone. Like that was, I was super happy when I saw the Jaleel score. I was like, that's great, man. We like that, but I still don't love the makeup of this. So these guys are going to have to grow a little bit. I will still contend that I want to see us add a running back over the bye week. We mentioned Jamal Williams. We mentioned like a Damian Martinez. There's some other guys out there. I think like Deontay Foreman. Somebody with some experience who's kind of all three of those guys I mentioned are like plus 215 pounds. I'd like to see us add somebody like that, but only time will tell. I put that we talked about Troy Franklin a little bit. I put that this game was kind of like a microcosm game for him in terms of his season as a whole, or even his career as a whole. Like some mind-numbingly bad moments, but then some brilliant moments when it really mattered at the end. So shout out to him. I saw some really good releases from. Like that's what's crazy about Troy Franklin. Like he has some beautiful releases. Like at his best, his releases are as good as anybody on our team. But he's going to have to fix. The drops continue to be an issue. Just kind of the chemistry of him and Bo. In moments, it looks fantastic, and then in other moments, you would never believe that they had been college teammates, and that maybe will come in time. You look like you have something to add to that.
I just had a take hit me in the face. I'm gonna rip it off, and I'm gonna tell you: is Troy Franklin exactly Jerry Jeudy without the expectations? Like, God, wow, release. It was really beautiful sometimes. Sometimes you're like, what the heck is going on? There's times where you're like, where did they go to? Like, I don't know. It just felt like winning a lot of the same way.
I think Jerry's a little bit better of an athlete, and I think Troy Franklin's a little bit more of a vertical player. But yeah, I definitely think the essence of that is definitely accurate. Now, I will say this, man. I mean, look, Pat Bryant continues to grow. That was great. He played a heck of a game. I'm glad to see that he was able to get back onto the field towards the end there when he had to leave. He landed on his shoulder, and there was unfortunately like face mask that didn't get called, which, the officiating, I talked to a friend today who's a Chiefs fan about it, and we both agreed, like, they're just all around. It was bad officiating.
True
We both
chaotic
agreed
neutral
that
officiating. Just
we agreed that nobody won our lots because of officiating, but we did agree what a horribly officiated game. It is what it is. Pat Bryant played great. Cortland Sutton continues to be the guy that Bo will look to in the clutch. Liked some of the things we saw from our receiver room. I put O line was reliable and steady like they have been. Their couple sacks that they got on us, I kind of felt like those were more Bo Nix's fault than it
mhm,
was the O line. I think they did a good job. I think we didn't get our running game going. I don't think the O line's completely to blame for that. In fact, I noticed Luke Wattenberg a little bit. Like he even made a couple nice plays in the running
mhm.
game. He was moving, he was getting down and plugging off. He was sealing off guys, so that was good to see. The last thing I'll say about the offense, Rhett, the way I wrote this down, I said Sean is a different play caller when he smells blood. Like the end of that game, he just you could tell he saw blood and he knew exactly how he wanted to end this game.
Mhm.
And it's awesome to see when he's in sync, when him and Bo are in sync, it's awesome, dude. And you get taking Bo at 12 and you get the vision. When they are in sync, it's a beautiful thing. And I think Sean was in his bag for most of this past game. It was really great to see him go up against a great mind like Spagnola and kind of win that chess match, you know.
Mhm.
And so shout out to Sean. I thought he called a heck of a game. Man, what a good job. 22 points isn't impressive in a vacuum, but if you contextualize it, if you watch the game, if you consider key situations where you have to have it, I think this offense stepped up in a big way.
Yeah, 22 points in a playoff environment, and again,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
Steve Spagnuolo defense that knew that this game was kind of their season on the line, that there was nothing left to hold back. He threw the full kitchen sink at Bo Nix, and Bo Nix was able to handle it. Sean Payton was able to handle it. He schemed himself around. Um, I I am concerned about the running game only in the short term. I believe in RJ Harvey because his vision. I can see that he can see the running game, and I think some of it is he's going to have to get used to the mentality that you need to have when you are an every down back, that when you are a bell cow back, where he's constantly looking to see and find the hole that's going to break the run, and
Hmm.
he's willing to wait around a little bit to see if it opens up, and he's kind of always his short runs always look like he's like holding on for something bigger and then is finally like and it's like
Yeah, no,
uh
you're
like
right.
he'll get 3 yards, and if he had really committed it could have been 6, but he tried to get 60, and it just ended up there. So he'll have to as he's getting better at knowing, I'm not going to break this one, I'm going to I'm going to just go into this first hole that I can see. I think we're going to see some improvement there. Man, Jaleel McGoffin was great, but he did not have a rushing touchdown in this game. Quinn Miners had a rushing touchdown in this game. I don't know if you got to see
Fair. That's
the
fair. The
the
effort there, yeah.
the end zone view from the back. You see they run left, they're running away from Miner's side, and it gets into a pile, and Quinn Myers turns and gets behind the whole pile, and he is the man that pushes that whole thing across. It was incredible to see, just 77 there pushing 10 other people into an end zone.
Dude.
Was insane. And yeah, we outcoached them today. So shout out to
Yeah.
Sean Payton. I'm more negative on the coaching staff more often. Sean Payton's a freaking great NFL coach, and I don't mind that we sometimes get penalty cleaned up a lot of the
Yeah.
penalties today. They needed it.
Can we think about this, Rhett? Sean Payton, when he came to Denver, there were people who were saying things like, why would Sean want to go to that division? Like of all places where you're gonna the Chiefs dynasty is in full effect. You have Russell Wilson there, and even if you get rid of him, you're gonna have all this dead cap. This Broncos
Hmm.
franchise, they have not been relevant since Peyton Manning left town. Are you really, and he picked this place and he has turned it around despite all those things. And Rhett, like, think about this. Now, you got to understand that one of these wins is against the Chiefs backup, so take that with a
Hmm.
grain of salt. But he is a blocked field goal away from being 4-1 against the Chiefs so far at his
Hmm.
time in Denver. And like, the dude has come in and he knows, like, he's just a confident dude, and he knows what he knows, and he's not scared of anybody. And we've talked about this before, Rhett, but one of the biggest ways he has changed this culture is he has come in and he has got these guys. He's turned these guys into winners.
Hmm.
He has, like, they expect to win. They know this defense. They know how good they are.
Hmm.
It took a couple of years, but you can tell now this year, like, they know how good they are. This offense believes they are always in a game, no matter what.
Hmm.
Uh, and I just think Sean Payton's done an awesome job with that, and just the job he's done, you can't say enough about it. So
Yeah, I would say like it's an incredible coaching job. The defense knows exactly how good they are. The offense does not know. The offense strategically it does not
but
have an accurate view of how good they are.
but they think they think they can go out and do it. Like,
And it's all good coaching. That offense, I want the offense to think, "Hey, we can do this. We got this." Because yeah,
no,
like they're gonna have to continue to they're gonna have to punch above their weight from time to time. Like these skill players, it's gonna have to be a thing like that. Great job all around, and all this leads into we get to go into a bye week now, a critical time, and I want to take this next segment really to look for. I mean, looking at the timing wise, I don't even know if we're going to talk about much about the Commanders. I don't know. I don't have all that many too many thoughts. I'd love to listen to you on it, but
I have a few thoughts, but yeah, we'll get
uh,
there when we get there.
I would like for us to have a segment that uh, to have a moment for us to just be taking some stonk, uh,
Mm,
if that's all right. And
that's a heck of a graphic you got there.
thank you, thank you. The graphics department. Do you like the visual?
Red, Red texted me earlier when we were talking about recording that. He's like, he's telling me about this segment that we're gonna do, and he's like, I got some graphics ready.
Hey, don't worry. Yeah, I went a little minimalist. I thought it was
Oh man.
understated and artful. But Ian, I'm gonna throw uh some of these guys. I feel like we've talked a lot about Bo Nick, so I don't want to get too much into the conversation of like how he's come along. But moving forward, Ian, going into the last, what do we have? 5 games left, 6, 7 games left in the season, whatever. Um, where are you at with Bo Nick? So, are you going to buy up more Bo Nick stock? Are you holding with the stock that you have? Are you selling off that stock that you have in Bo Nix right now?
I'm going to buy more Bo Nix stock, which I think is maybe a little surprising to myself to
Ooh.
say. Um, Look, I mean, I got it. That is a good graphic right there. I like that.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a take. It doesn't have to do with Bo Nix real quick. Can I get it off?
Hmm.
Uh, Nick Benito, low key, one of the more handsome dudes on our team, in my opinion. Dude,
Yeah, let's.
the dreads are great. He's a handsome dude. I don't know what it is. But anyways, back to Bo Nix. I am buying stock on him, Rhett. Last week, I was like so disappointed in how he played because we talked about it, like he regressed in so many areas. It's like you look as bad as you've ever been with some of this stuff with footwork and pocket presence. Um, and then he went up against a really good defense this week and he was sensational. Now I don't want to be that person who's like reactive week by week and it's like, well, if he comes out and has a bad game against Washington, then I'm like, oh, Bo Nix is terrible again. Here's what I mean when I say I'm buying more Bo Nix stock. Because of what I saw against Kansas City, um, where he really, like, it's a tough defense, a tough defensive play caller. He really didn't have a running game to lean on. Like, you got to keep that in mind. because I saw such an incredible game from him, I am definitely bought back into the idea of I want us to play this out with Bo Nix. You know,
Hmm.
I want him to continue. Like I want to go into next year with Bo Nix as our starter. I want him to continue to get these reps and this experience because now that I have seen it with my eyes on that stage, I do believe, like what you alluded to earlier about fixing things, I do believe he can get that figured out. I was a little unsure when it was like, man, we're like over halfway through his second year, and we're really seeing this kind of footwork and this kind like he has shown that he understands what's required and he is able to go out and prove it. So I'm buying the Bo Nix stock, Rhett. Do I think he is an elite quarterback? No, I don't. But do I think that he can continue to grow into being a very good starting quarterback? Absolutely. And listen, now that he put like a really great game for all four quarters on tape, you can kind of go back and enjoy like the mystique of the fourth quarter Bo magic.
Hmm.
You know, you can enjoy that a little bit more because when he was playing bad, it just kind of seemed like another Tim Tebow gimmick. But
Hmm.
now you're kind of like, yeah, this is a part of his game. Like we're never out of it. He's got the guys that rally behind him, and so I'm buying stock on him, Rhett. I do think that uh, over this back end of the season, there are going to be some matchups that he and Sean Payton should be able to take some advantage of. So it wouldn't shock me at all to see that he's maybe hit his stride a little bit here, and we start to see some better ball from him. So yeah, I'm buying stock on Bo Nix. How about that? I
Good.
love
I
it.
love that. I love that. I'm also buying stock. I believe he's going to be successful at the job that he is going to be given. I don't think Bo Nix is going to be asked to come out this year and um, be the force that wins us games. Uh, I, 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 I think if you give Bo Nix time, it seems like he does good things with it. If you give him the opportunity to rest, recuperate, to have some time to look at the film, he seems to grow when given the opportunity, and that is huge because um, now we get the chance to look and say, "Oh, second half of the season, Bo last year was very good." We got into a bye week, and he came out of the bye week, and he was a significantly better passer. And then we got our mini bye. We got a mini bye this year, going from Thursday and having 10 days off. And Bo fixed a lot of things in his game that had been there. And
Yep.
now that's a little bit of a pattern. And so I would like to take this full bye week now that we're going into. And I'd like to think, okay, what's he going to do coming out of that? And looking at our schedule, we have really, I would say, three games coming up down the stretch that are going to be that are against very very difficult opponents, games that I wouldn't be shocked if we lost, or that I wouldn't be, yeah, overly shocked if we lost, and three games that I would expect us to win. And Bo only needs to really win two of the, like, if we can finish out the year 5-1 or 4-2, we are in position to really have a good chance at winning the number one seed. Not guaranteed, but we're having a fighting chance
Huh.
of that number one seed.
Yep.
And if we're only asking Bo Nix to beat teams he's supposed to beat, if he's only supposed to be great at home, if he's only supposed to be good after, if we're giving him time to, man, like this team is dangerous if we get a number one seed and we get to play at home all the way up until the Super Bowl and we get a week off when everyone else has to go out and play. That like I'm buying it because I can see Bo succeeding in those situations. That's what I see going forward. Ian, our second one, um, our second group I want to know about is the running back room.
Okay.
Looking forward, are you buying stock? Are you holding and looking, or are you selling your stock on the running back room?
This is hard. The way you framed it is hard because I think if you break it down to individuals, I am I am like either holding or selling on Tyler Bidet, Jaleel McLaughlin. These are guys I could take or leave.
Hmm.
RJ Harvey, I would want to buy stock on. I know, like we just
Mm.
mentioned, some of his flaws, but I mean he's a rookie. I loved him coming out of UCF. I
Mhm.
was aware of like, yeah, he's not the best running between the tackles, so that's not a surprise to me. I
Wait,
think
wait,
there's
wait.
plenty of
I need I need you to make a decision here because I have visuals
oh,
to put
okay.
on. What are you
So
gonna
I have
do?
to decide.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, then for the sake, but real quick, let me just clarify before I do this. In this segment we're doing, is there like I only have so many of these that I can buy stock on, and then like I okay, so I
No,
can do
this is just if we're
okay,
traders, we're talking about
yeah.
different stocks coming
Then
up.
then okay, fine. Because of RJ Harvey, then I'm buying stock on this
Okay.
running back. Then. Yeah.
Fine. We'll use the one we've already seen. Stocks going up. All right. You can go back to talking about RJ Harvey and why he's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, like all off season, we heard, Sean said Joker a couple times, and that was like all we heard from Broncos media in the offseason. Sean needs to find his Joker. I think we kind of thought Evan Ingram was going to be that guy, and then maybe a little bit he has been, but I think RJ Harvey has really kind of been the closest thing to that. He has made some of these plays in the passing game out of the backfield. Uh, he's become a weapon. There's no doubt about it, and he showed potential in the running game too. I mean, I think of the explode. Was it against Houston? Who was it against that he had? He had a big long run. Maybe it was against the Cowboys. I can't remember. But he at some point he had like a real big long run.
I mean, he had one against the Cowboys. He had a huge run week one against the
I remember
Titans.
that. I forget about that. Yeah.
That one was
Well,
sick.
my point is, yeah, like he's shown, like I mean, he's shown that he has the capacity for like explosive plays, and I will always buy stock in that type of stuff. So look, if Jaleel McLaughlin and Tyler Bidet come along with that, then whatever, that's great. I'll take them too, even though they're players I could take or leave. Yeah, I'll buy stock in this running back room. We'll see. We'll see how RJ continues to develop over the course of the rest of the year.
All right. I am going to uh unfortunately
You just want to use your new graphic.
I do want to use my U graphics. I'm gonna say we're gonna hold on this stock
Okay.
for now. Uh
Oh,
so
get out of here!
no,
Come
no, no. Look,
on.
look,
I
I
know
qualified
you
it.
put the. Oh my gosh!
I
I
qualified it. I love Garrett Bowles. He's so great. He doesn't hold anymore. This is a
Jared, I hope
picture
you
of
don't. I hope you don't see
2017.
this.
This is a
I hope you
picture of
don't see this, Garrett.
2017 to 2021 Garrett Bowles, who did hold a whole lot of the time, and then he fixed his problem, and I love him, and I would let him watch my cat. I would trust him with that. I don't have children to trust him with. I would trust him with the world. I love Garrett Bowles, um, but I'm holding on the stock because I want I want to see I want to see what's going on. I'm really actually very excited that I did not see a lot of Tyler Bidet against the Chiefs. That
That
was
was
that
nice.
was
Yeah,
that was an
I was.
adjustment
Yeah,
that Sean Payton I think made. He looked and changed up some of the personnel, and it was like we're going RJ,
you
we're
had
going
you had Adam Prentice getting in the backfield some,
yeah.
in different moments.
And so like which honestly Adam Prentice I'd rather see than Tyler Bidet at this point. He's an actual blocker. If you get into the QB run game, he can be an effective blocker, a lead block there. Hand him the ball. I don't care. Let's do it. I liked it. I like that personnel thing. So I'm gonna hold stock. I'm gonna hold stock because it could become a problem if we continue to have the same production that we had against Kansas City could be an issue, but I'm not selling my stock yet on that. So running back room is good. Let's go to uh Nick Benito here. Nick Benito started the season off incredibly hot. In fact, was for a couple weeks there the kind of the leading man in the defensive player of the year conversation. He has cooled off his sack numbers. I don't think he's really slowed down his effectiveness. I think it's just sort of a it's a you know it's a process versus results thing. The process is really good. He got lucky with the results a lot early in the season and just hasn't been the guy who's happened to got the sack here the last few weeks. But how are you feeling about Nick Benito down the stretch from here on out? We're not buying. This stock is in this moment. What are you doing with your Nick Benito stock right now?
This is all just going to sound really boring to anyone listening. I'm buying stock on Nick Benito. I could care if the pressures continue. I could care less about the sack numbers.
Hmm.
Like Nick Benito is a disruptive monster, and I could never imagine how well that extension worked out for this team. As somebody who wanted to find a way to extend him, I can't tell you how well that's worked out. There are pass rushers in this league who are getting paid significantly more than him, who are not getting the pressure rate or the sack numbers that Nick Benito is getting. Rhett, I think part of the reason I'm buying stock on so many of these is because it really just kind of represents how I'm feeling with our team as a whole at this point, where I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
I'm kind of, I've been a little frustrated at the offensive inconsistencies, and that's held me back from saying anything crazy. But I'm kind of ready to buy stock on this team as a whole. So Nick Benito, um, I think he's still very much in the race for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think I could call him necessarily the front runner right now. But yeah, I'm buying stock on him. I think he's a heck of a pass rusher.
I I love that. I'm now I have to play my game. If I had some Nick Benito stock, I would also be buying it because I feel like that's true. I feel like the pressures are good, um, and it seems like it's just a little bit of process. It seems like what is going on is teams have committed all of their resources to making sure that Nick Benito is not the one who's getting to the quarterback, and that is opening up
Yep,
lanes for Jonathan Cooper and for
yep.
everyone else to affect the quarterback. And this defensive line is just ridiculous. And I'm looking and hoping down the stretch that you give him a late bye week, and now he gets to take a week off, and then goes really hard for another 6 weeks, and I like it. I'm looking. It's going to be a really interesting thing, Ian, if Denver is like hovering right around that all-time number, or if I was really hoping if Benito had stayed on his path, if he was hovering around the all-time like single
Mm.
season sack record, that week 18 game is against the Chargers and their lack of an offensive line, and it could really pop off. So I'm buying Nick Benito stock just because we haven't played the Chargers in week 18 yet. I'll sell all the stock I have right after that game and cash out and be a king, live like a king, go off and buy my own island. But uh until then, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be buying up more stock, waiting to get that big cash out. Um Sean Payton's play calling.
Uh, Rhett, again, I'm buying stock. I look. We're at a point now where we've talked about how Sean Payton, like the shots that he's drawing up are there,
Hmm.
and now we're getting to a point where Bo's starting to hit some of those. So I think if that can be something that continues, our offense is only going to look better. I think the early in the year we had a lot of people saying like, "Well, Davis Webb needs to start taking over play calling." So Davis Webb has never called plays in his life. Like
Hmm.
it just seemed a little silly to me. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about this one. I'm going to buy stock now. I mean, I will say this: it's going to be interesting to see how Sean, what he does moving forward with the J.K. Dobbins injury and how that affects things. But yeah, I'm buying stock. So
I like it. I'm buying as well. Man, again, you give them a little bit of time. Sean changed up a lot of the offense looked a lot different against Kansas City than it had the couple previous weeks.
true.
And he still had some of those quick bubble screens. He still had some whatever, but he cut down on them some. But I like that he kept him in because the whole concept of his offense, I'm starting to get a little bit more of an epiphany for it. Uh, but the idea he's just stretching the defense out all the time, peppering him off to the side, doing something quick. Then he's hitting you up the gut. Then he's taking shots deep. And my favorite thing about it is that he's not like he's like that poker player that if you ever played poker, sometimes you just get someone who's new to the game and they have just an incredible feel and they're just random enough or whatever. Sean Payton, he's getting to that nice nirvana level of just random enough. Sometimes he take like I don't like the trick plays. But sometimes Sean Payton's going to call a random wild trick play, and you just kind of have to be ready for it. He is always maybe going to take a shot deep. He is always maybe going to throw a screen pass. He's always maybe going to just run it right up the gut at you and have try to play tough with you. Um, I don't I don't see it going downhill. I am really excited. Just as he's just getting more and more information. He's getting to know this offense. He's getting to know his players. He's finally got Lil Jordan Humphrey back. So
That was the
you,
missing piece. There's
you
no
got
coincidence there. No
no
coincidence.
coins. You got to buy up
Yeah,
the stock. Yeah. Let's see. I've got. I want to do a couple more. I'm gonna get to a little bit
yeah.
more.
We can fly through them.
So. Weird and untimely ownership shout outs. I don't know how you feel about this. I don't know if you've been paying any attention to this. It's just something I've noticed. I love the owners. Thank you, Walmart. I think the ownership group is great. I also have noticed that just about every time the Broncos play a game, there is something that ownership has done that is getting very specifically shouted out and is said almost as if the person is reading from a teleprompter, like the new grass. They bought the new grass
Yeah,
and they keep they it's never just like, oh, they put in new grass. It's and the Denver Broncos and their the Walter Penner owner group, they've gone ahead and paid. They've spared no expense for player safety and the this to the, how are you feeling about that?
yeah.
It hits me a little weird.
No, I'm glad you did this because now I can finally do a sell and we can see the graphic. I'm going to sell on the ownership shout outs. Now, let me be clear about this. Okay, I like that. Uh, uh, I love our ownership group. I think they're
Hmm.
one of the premier ownership groups in the league. I'm very thankful for them. I kind of know what you mean though, Rhett. Like, here's the deal. Like, we don't support a team because of the ownership, right? Like for us, it's
Hmm.
it's about the players, right? Uh, the I don't care so much like when you hear on the broadcast them talking like, yeah, it's like the Penners, like they're doing cool stuff, you know. That
Hmm.
the high school providing new helmets for all the high school. That was sick, man. That was so cool. What's really bothered me, I feel like there's been multiple uh, post game locker room moments where like Greg and Carrie Penner get like game balls, or
Hmm.
Rob Walton gets a game ball, and it feels like it's Sean kind of just trying to do his politicking a little bit, and it's like, nah, man, just give those to the players. Like, yeah, we all know we the Penners have done, the Walton Penner group's done a phenomenal job. Let's you're in the locker room, you're in Club Dub, the music's going, everybody's talking their smack and they're fired up. Like celebrate the players, man. Uh, we don't. It's great that Greg and Kerry like to go down to the locker room, but like we don't need
Yeah,
to be cute. We've given them plenty of game balls now. Let's move on. So yeah, I'll sell on that for sure.
yeah. I'm selling on it too. I just find it interesting. I maybe it's because we are Broncos fans, but I feel like there's not another team in the league, and I guess it's because it's the new hot ownership on the block or whatever. But like, it's not. It's it's Greg and Carrie are always on camera. Like they get a moment and there's something. And again, yes, they do cool stuff. And then also it's like even like our minority owners and whatnot, like they're like, ah, look, and Condoleezza Rice again, like every single time, every single game, like midway through the first quarter, we're gonna get a shot to the box and they're gonna be like, and there's Condi Rice. Um, I wish
Yeah,
I know he's not there as much. I would like to see more of Broncos minority owner Lewis Hamilton, my favorite F1 driver. He's an unbelievably cool human being, and I would like to see more of him incorporated into these ownership shoutouts. So until that happens, I'm gonna sell stock on it. Thank you for being the reason that the Broncos are good again, and for taking your unlimited amounts of money and spending it to make the Broncos good. Um, and 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 that's great. Also, I don't know, it's just a little strange to me. Just a little strange to me.
Yeah.
Ian, I'm gonna catch you off guard with this one. This is not a Broncos specific question. This isn't hinting at anything. Ian, are you buying stock in a Trevor Lawrence second draft here coming up? There's no way he's not surviving in Jacksonville for his whole career, right? Like,
Yeah, man, I hate myself. I, I I have to say sell on Trevor Lawrence. I hate myself. Not because I think that Trevor Lawrence is in a vacuum a bad quarterback. In
Mhm.
fact, I mean, you could even argue, like, I mean, he's had some nice moments this year. I mean, like the one of the funniest moments of the year was that touchdown he scored against Kansas City in prime time. You know, he like felt like that was awesome. Okay, uh,
Yeah.
I think it does have to kind of do with Jacksonville. I'm kind of afraid that Jacksonville is just kind of like ruined him from ever being a great quarterback.
So
You
he can't.
know,
So even him, if he gets out of Jacksonville, you can't wash that stink off him.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, like, you're asking me if I'm buying or holding or
And,
selling stock. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll change it. I know we put up the sell already. I'll say
mhm.
I'll hold stock on T Law. Okay,
Wow, Ian, I
because
can't believe that you're making Garrett Bowles go through this again.
I listen. Yeah, like you still see it some with Trevor. Like I just think sometimes these outcomes with quarterbacks are so situational, and it just feels like they've been doing this thing for a few years now in Jacksonville, and now I know like they're currently playoff bound under Liam Cohen, which is great, but I don't know, man. Like Trevor Lawrence is not currently a great NFL quarterback, and when he was
Mhm.
coming into the league, his potential, we were thinking like this is going to be a great
Yeah.
quarterback, and we have not seen it. So yeah, I'll hold my stock on him. I'll say that.
This question was born in a very dark place. I was taking my trash out from around my condo out to the curb at 5:30 in the morning. It was bitter cold. Um, the Broncos were unfortunately on a massive winning streak, and I was sitting there thinking, oh my god, what if Bo Nix has just like the yips, and what if he just is like what if he just sucks from now on for forever? Like this is all supposed to be fixable. I don't understand it. I can't get it. And I was thinking to myself, there's not even really other options at quarterback. Like this window we have, it's going to close in a couple years. We can't just draft another quarterback. We'd have to find someone else. And I found myself walking to the curb with my trash can, thinking about, is Mac Jones or Trevor Lawrence the guy that I would bet on, like the second draft, this dude flamed out, and like who do I think is going to be the next Sam Darnold? And I'm in. I would be in. So if you're a team, I no longer think we're
Sure.
looking for a quarterback here. But I looked deep into my soul, and I said I think Trevor Lawrence would be good if he weren't in Jacksonville. Um which is a tough thing. Yeah, I don't have any other ones that would be any other uh compelling questions here, Ian. We have 6 games remaining. How many of them do we win? What's the Broncos' final record?
I gotta look. Sorry, I gotta pull up our schedule here.
That would be probably you don't want to just you don't want to just vibe out a number.
We're winning all of them. Next question. No, I do not think we're going to win all of them. Okay, let's see here.
Let's start at Washington. Do we win?
I'm looking at our schedule. This feels a little audacious of me. 2, 3, 4, 5. My initial gut, you're not going to believe that I'm saying this. My initial gut is that we go 6-1. Uh, you didn't react like I thought you would. Okay.
Well,
Uh,
because I think you mean 5
I'm
and 1. I
gonna.
think we only have 6 games
Or
left.
sorry. Yes, 5-1. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
no, Rhett. I just think we're that good. Okay. The league is going to look back on the silly penalty we had against the Colts. They're going to reverse it.
They're taking it
We're
back.
no,
Thought it was gonna be like we're gonna beat Jacksonville twice.
I'm gonna say, just to try and be a little more realistic, I'm gonna say we go 5-2. I don't think we beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. That's the only one where I'm like, I
Mhm.
feel certain we are going to lose. Um, most of these other ones I feel really good about, especially like the Chargers, given the fact that they're coming to Denver and they've just dealt with so many injuries now. They just look like a
Mhm.
different team. I think maybe like the Packers coming to Denver, that could be a game where like Jordan Love, he's just so big and strong and he makes some crazy throws that we're not ready for. But uh, uh, Jacksonville, and we just talked about them, and this will be a great soundbite for if they eventually come to Denver and beat us. I refuse to take Liam Cohen seriously. I know he's got the Jaguars, I know he's got their record good. I just refuse to, he just seems like a new iteration of Nathaniel Hackett personality wise. Uh, and I know that's not true. And I know, like, again, he's got the Jaguars playing good football. They just destroyed the Chargers, which was super helpful. So thanks, Liam Cohen. I don't want to lose to that guy. They're not going to have Travis Hunter. You know, who
Mhm.
knows what's going on with Brian Thomas Jr. I don't know how long term that injury is. Um, yeah, I don't know, Rhett. If you ask me what I really think is like 5-1, but I'm going to just assume that we drop one of those ones that we might not expect we would. So I'll say 4-2. Is what we finish with. We finished 4-2, so that would put us 13
13 and
and
4.
which is brother. I mean, if you had told me at the beginning of this year,
Mhm.
I would have kissed you on the mouth. I mean that yeah, like that's great.
I mean, I'm gonna say we finish 5 and 1. I
Okay, yeah,
the
I
the
don't
way
fault you
this
for it.
the consistency of this team, the way that they're playing, it's just hard for me to envision. We've already had those terrible wet fart games, and we
Yeah,
won all of them.
yeah,
Maybe we haven't already had all of them, but 5 and 1, and I'm just gonna leave that there. I'd love to go down why we match up well with every team on defense, but I feel really confident that two is a good conservative number of losses. We're gonna get to 4 losses on the season, and we have Indianapolis and New England to worry about down the stretch. Are they
mm-hmm.
going to lose 2 games? Well, Indianapolis still has to play Kansas City and Houston and Jacksonville. And Houston and
Yeah,
Jacksonville, they're division games. So I'm not worried about us
yeah,
with Jacksonville. I am worried about Indianapolis with Jacksonville because it's division game. It gets weird. They still have to play the 49ers, the Seahawks, uh, and the
yeah,
Jaguars again, and then the Texans again. The Colts are going to have like that is a tough schedule coming in.
yeah. That's tough.
The the New England Patriots, have you
They
seen
they they're
this
gonna
graphic?
cruise. They should
Have you seen
cruise.
they should cruise, but have you seen their like schedule up to this point that they've been showing?
No, I haven't, but it's not been a tough schedule.
They have had the historically like the easiest schedule of all time. They've played like seven
Oh
of the
wow,
teams of the league's worst. Here's their wins, Ian. They beat the Raiders, or they lost to the Raiders. They've beaten the Dolphins, the Panthers. They beat the Bills. That was big. Then they also have wins against the Saints, the Titans, the Browns, the Falcons. They got to win against the
yeah,
Buccaneers, the Jets. They go down, they're playing the Bengals, the Giants, the Bills, the Ravens, the Jets, the Dolphins. So that Bills
yeah,
Ravens, those 2 weeks there, that is their opportunity to get 2 losses. The Patriots might end up with 3 losses on the year if they go
yeah.
through um easily. But I am not concerned about the Patriots.
No, I'm
I
not either.
think
In fact,
I think
like
we could beat New England and New England in the playoffs. I think we could.
I
And if someone wants
I
to pay for tickets for me to be there, I'd love it.
I very much want that smoke rat. Absolutely. And it's not about like I respect Mike Vrabel, and I think Drake May is the best quarterback from the 2024 class. I think he's comfortably better than Bo Nix. It's not that like I don't take them seriously, but yeah, no, I very much want that smoke. Yeah, I wanna run into them in the playoffs, and I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to say that. So
So yeah, I don't care their house, our house.
yep, yep,
I'd be a comment like I would that would be a great game, but like I don't think they've played anyone. Yeah, like not they've played anyone, but like a lot of what they're doing, it's not against great teams. They haven't been through hell like us. The Colts,
yep.
I don't think are going to. I think they're going to end up being around the 3 or 4 seed. Um, and I
Yeah,
would
I think
love
Denver.
another chance. I'd
Yeah,
love another chance at Indianapolis because just based on facts is
yeah.
facts. If you flip, if that game's played in Denver, we win. Like
If
just
that game should have been won in Indianapolis,
game should have
but
been won in
for
Indianapolis.
a very silly call. Yeah,
And I also, I would just, I would really like for, yes, the Chiefs to miss the playoffs. I would love for the Baltimore Ravens to miss the playoffs. The only human being I am still a little bit concerned that I would be like a little bit like uneasy feeling going into a playoff game would be Lamar Jackson. I know that sometimes like people have said things about him in the playoffs, but I am afraid of Lamar's ability to just be like, and you had the perfect defense, and no, 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 no. So,
yeah. But now he doesn't have the perfect defense. So
yeah.
yeah, I
So
don't know. I kind of want all the smoke in the AFC. I'm just going to be real about it. The
I should
the
maybe
the
get there.
the teams that scare me actually are in the NFC. Like the Seahawks and the Rams are the
Yeah.
teams that scare me. I don't think any other team in this league scares me, to
Yeah.
be
The nice
honest.
thing is we
So,
we would only ever have to play one of those teams, which is so great. Um,
yep, yep.
yeah. I mean, other than that, man, this is gonna be an enjoyable bye week. It's gonna be great.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might, I suppose I could watch some other stupid football teams play, but maybe I'll go to an apple orchard or something. Enjoy. Is it too late in the season for that? I don't know, but it's gonna be a great time. We're riding high. As
Riding
bad
high.
as bad as 8-2 felt, 9-2 feels so like to the same amount better, even more.
Amazing.
Um, there's nothing this team cannot do, and whatever happens next, we'll still be kicking it from a long distance, and we will see you uh, in another week's time, maybe another 2 weeks' time. We don't know, but we'll see you when we see you. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, everybody.